Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're so grateful for your continued support. If you're enjoying these chilling tales, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and give this episode a like. It really helps us out. Tonight, we're taking you on a journey into the heart of a personal account. So disturbing, it'll leave you questioning what you think you know about the world. We're talking about an alleged Maleficio, a curse that plagued a young woman for 12 long years.
What's so striking about this account is how it begins in such an ordinary setting. The 1990s, a regular family living in a central neighborhood just trying to go about their lives. It's a stark reminder that the unexplained doesn't discriminate. It can seep into anyone's reality.
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? This idea that darkness can lurk even in the most familiar places. The story centers on a high school student who found herself suddenly and inexplicably ill. It began with agonizing stomach pains, the kind that would send most of us rushing to the doctor.
And that's exactly what she and her family did. They sought help from countless medical professionals, underwent tests, tried various treatments, but nothing seemed to provide a clear answer, let alone relief. Imagine the frustration and fear as her condition only worsened.
It's hard to fathom the desperation they must have felt. They were facing an unknown enemy, a health crisis with no apparent cause. The pain was so severe, she became increasingly reliant on painkillers. Taking up to 24 pills daily just to function? That in itself must have taken a toll on her.
Absolutely. It's a vicious cycle when you're trapped in that kind of pain. Desperate for relief, she also turned to alternative healing methods. She tried energy cleansings with quartz, hoping to find some balance, some understanding of what was happening to her.
You know, these energy cleansings are something I've always found intriguing. What exactly is the belief behind them? What are they supposed to do?
Well, the idea is that negative energies can attach themselves to us, influencing our well-being. Quartz is believed to have properties that can absorb and transmute these energies. The cleansing is meant to restore balance and promote healing.
So did these cleansings provide any relief for this young woman?
They did offer some temporary respite, but the underlying issue persisted. It was during one of these sessions that the energy cleanser delivered a truly unsettling revelation. She was told that she wasn't dealing with a simple illness. She was under the influence of a powerful, targeted curse.
A Maleficio.
A Maleficio. That sounds terrifying.
It is. The word itself evokes a sense of dread. In essence, it refers to a deliberate act of malevolent magic intended to inflict harm. The energy cleanser believed that someone had intentionally directed this dark energy towards her.
And what was the supposed source of this curse?
The energy cleanser pointed to a seemingly innocuous event, a gift of bread given to the family by the mother of one of the girl's classmates.
Bread? That seems so ordinary. How could something like that be connected to a curse?
That's the insidious nature of these beliefs. The curse isn't always about the object itself, but rather the intention behind it. The bread in this case may have been used as a conduit to deliver the Maleficio. It's a chilling reminder that appearances can be deceiving. So faced with this terrifying realization, what did the family do? Did they confront the woman they suspected?
It seems they were more focused on breaking the curse itself. Armed with this knowledge, they took increasingly desperate measures. They cleansed their house with holy water, meticulously marked doors and windows with crosses, hoping to ward off the evil. They even performed a cleansing ritual using an egg, a practice found in many cultures to identify and remove negative energies.
I've heard of those egg rituals. They always seemed a bit mysterious to me. What exactly is supposed to happen?
Well, the egg is passed over the person's body, absorbing their energy. In this case, as the egg was passed over the young woman, it cracked ominously, but didn't break. This was interpreted as a sign of powerful, malevolent energy directed at her.
It sounds incredibly unsettling. And did her condition improve after this ritual?
Unfortunately, no. In fact, it seems things took a turn for the worse. Following the ritual, she was gripped by a sudden irrational fear, particularly a fear of leaving her house. Imagine the impact on someone so young. She went from being an active student to practically a prisoner in her own home.
It's heartbreaking to think about the fear and isolation she must have felt. It seems like this curse went beyond physical illness. It was affecting her mental and emotional well-being as well.
Absolutely. The consequences extended to every aspect of her life. Her grades suffered, her engagement fell apart, and she experienced a string of misfortunes. It was as if this malevolent force was determined to ruin every part of her life.
It's like something out of a nightmare. So for years, she endured this torment, trapped by this unseen force. Did she ever find a way to break free?
It seems the turning point came in 2002 when by chance she met a brujo, a male practitioner of folk magic. He offered a glimmer of hope, a potential solution to her decade-long suffering.
A brujo. What exactly does that term mean?
A brujo is a figure often found in Latin American and Caribbean cultures. They are believed to have knowledge and power in the realm of spirits and magic, and they can perform rituals for various purposes, including healing and protection.
So this Brujo agreed to help her.
He did, but what he proposed was no simple fix. He told her that breaking this curse would require a powerful ritual one involving specific elements and actions.
What kind of ritual are we talking about? What did it involve?
It was an intense and elaborate ceremony. The atmosphere was charged with a blend of Catholic and folk religious elements. The Brujo used a variety of symbolic objects, a coconut brandy coins, even clothing torn from her body, and a live red hen.
A live hen. What was its role in the ritual?
The hen played a crucial role. The Brujo anointed the young woman with coconut water, and brandy enveloped her in cigar smoke and chanted in an unknown tongue. Then the hen was sacrificed, its blood offered to a saint, a gesture intended to appease spirits and sever the hold of the curse.
It sounds like an incredibly powerful and perhaps disturbing scene to witness. It makes you wonder about the forces at play and the depths of belief involved in such practices.
It certainly does. The ritual also included very specific instructions for the disposal of the cursed objects. The young woman's mother and uncle were entrusted with this task, taking the objects to a cemetery and leaving them without looking back. It was a crucial step one that carried a sense of both finality and lingering danger.
So the ritual was complete, the objects disposed of. Did that mark the end of her ordeal? Did she finally find relief?
Well, immediately after the ritual, she experienced intense drowsiness, and back at her home, a candle flame inexplicably split and formed a circle of light. It left everyone wondering if the curse had truly been broken, or if something else, perhaps even more unsettling, was about to unfold. Welcome back to Terror and Urban Myths. We left off with the young woman experiencing intense drowsiness after the ritual, and a candle flame behaving in a rather strange way at her home. It seemed like a sign that perhaps the battle wasn't truly over.
Right? Like there was a lingering unease even after all they had done to break the curse.
And as it turns out, the Brujo had warned her about this. He'd explained that by removing the Maleficio, her spiritual channels were now open, making her more sensitive to energies around her, both positive and negative.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could we all have these channels, but they're just dormant or blocked for most people?
It's a fascinating question. It's as if she'd developed a kind of spiritual radar, picking up on things that others wouldn't even notice. And in a way, this new sensitivity made her even more vulnerable.
So instead of one targeted curse, she was now open to a whole world of unseen forces.
Exactly. She was navigating a new landscape, one where the line between the spiritual and the mundane was blurred.
And did this newfound sensitivity lead to any other unsettling experiences?
Yes. She mentions another encounter that was significant enough to make her seek the Brujo's help once again.
Did she elaborate on what happened?
Unfortunately, no. She doesn't provide specifics about this encounter, but it does suggest that the world of magic and spirits, as she understood it, wasn't something you could simply walk away from.
It's almost as if she'd stepped through a doorway and there was no going back.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? And it speaks to the enduring allure of these stories. They tap into our primal fears, our fascination with the unknown.
Absolutely. But amidst all this darkness and uncertainty, there is also a remarkable turn of events in the story. Remember how her life had been spiraling downwards for years because of the curse? Well, after the ritual, things started to shift.
It's as if the curse had been a weight holding her back from living her life, and with its removal, she was finally able to move forward.
It's almost as if she'd been given a second chance. Did she go back to her studies? Did she reconnect with her friends?
Her life took a completely different course. The Brujo had made a specific prediction during their first meeting. He said she would find work, get married, and have a child.
So this wasn't just about her health improving. He saw a future for her that included specific life events.
Yes, and remarkably, all of those predictions came true. She found a job, got married, and became a mother.
It's a dramatic turnaround, isn't it? From years of suffering to finding love, purpose, and a family. It makes you wonder about the power of belief. The idea that someone could see a path for her that she couldn't even imagine at the time.
It's intriguing, isn't it? Does it suggest the Brujo had genuine insight into her destiny? Or was it more about the ritual itself, perhaps removing a blockage that was preventing her from achieving these things?
Perhaps it was a combination of factors. It's hard to say for sure. It's interesting that she doesn't mention going back to school. Do you think that was part of the Brujo's vision as well? Or did her life simply take a new direction?
That detail is left unsaid. Perhaps her priorities shifted. Maybe finding love and family became more important than academic pursuits. It's a reminder that stories, even when shared, always hold a degree of mystery. We don't get to see the full picture.
It's true. We're always piecing together fragments of someone else's experience, trying to make sense of it through our own lens. It's fascinating that even with these positive developments, there are still lingering questions. For instance, what happened to the woman who allegedly cursed her? Did she ever face any consequences for what she allegedly did?
That's a question that hangs over the story. The woman simply vanished from their lives when the family moved. It's an unsettling thought, isn't it? The possibility that someone could inflict such harm and then just disappear, leaving no trace?
It speaks to the hidden darkness that can exist in anyone. And it raises questions about the nature of justice, especially when dealing with something as intangible as a curse. Who judges? Who punishes?
Those are questions that have echoed throughout history. The idea of karma, of cosmic balance, is often tied to these beliefs. Perhaps that's where people find solace when faced with such injustices.
The belief that ultimately what goes around comes around. There's also the question of how this experience changed the young woman's worldview. She started as a regular teenager, likely skeptical of the supernatural. But her experience forced her to confront a reality where curses and magic seem to hold a very real power.
It's a profound shift, isn't it? To go from a world grounded in logic and reason to one where unseen forces can disrupt your life in such dramatic ways.
Do you think this kind of experience can lead to a deeper sense of faith? Or perhaps a more cautious approach to life, knowing that there are things we can't fully understand or control?
I think it can lead to both. There's a sense of humility that comes with acknowledging the limits of our knowledge, and perhaps a newfound appreciation for the traditions and beliefs that offer guidance in navigating the unknown.
It certainly makes you wonder about the things we dismiss as superstition. What if there's more to those beliefs than we realize? What if we've only scratched the surface of what's really out there?
It's a question that keeps us coming back to these stories, doesn't it? The desire to peer into the darkness, to test the boundaries of our understanding. We're fascinated by the possibility that there might be more to the world than we can see or explain.
Welcome back to Terror and Urban Myths. We've been exploring a story that's both chilling and thought-provoking. A young woman's 12-year battle with an alleged curse, her encounter with a brujo, and the surprising turn her life took after a powerful ritual.
It's a story that raises many questions about the nature of belief, the interplay of faith and fear, and the possibility that there are forces at work beyond our understanding.
It's fascinating how her journey took her through various realms of belief, from conventional medicine to energy healing with quartz, and ultimately placing her trust in the brujo and his rituals. It speaks to that universal human need to find answers, especially when facing the unknown.
It highlights how in times of crisis we often turn to whatever offers a glimmer of hope, even if it falls outside our usual belief systems.
And in her case, it seems that her faith, even in practices outside traditional religion, played a role in her eventual recovery. She found work, got married, and became a mother, fulfilling the brujo's prediction.
It's a curious paradox. A story steeped in witchcraft and folk beliefs, ultimately reinforcing the power of faith to overcome adversity. It suggests that the act of believing itself can be a catalyst for healing and transformation.
It also highlights how intertwined different belief systems can be. The brujo's altar, with its mix of Catholic and folk religious elements, points to the syncretic nature of belief in many cultures. It's a reminder that faith often draws from multiple sources, blending traditions in unique and personal ways.
It challenges us to expand our definition of what constitutes faith or religion, to recognize that belief is fluid and adaptable.
But beyond the question of belief, this story also brings up the impact of fear. The protagonist's experience with irrational fear, her terror of leaving her home, shows how fear can paralyze us and control our lives.
Fear is a powerful emotion deeply rooted in our survival instincts. Yet, as we see in this story, it can be manipulated, amplified, even used as a weapon.
It's not just fear of external threats, but also the fear of the unknown, the fear of forces we don't comprehend. That kind of fear fuels superstition, driving us to seek explanations, even if those explanations venture into the realm of magic or the supernatural.
It's the same fear that draws us to stories like this one. We're captivated by the mystery, the possibility that there might be more to the world than meets the eye.
Perhaps the most important takeaway from this story is its message of resilience. Despite years of suffering, she never gave up. She kept searching for answers, kept fighting for her health and her future.
It's a testament to the human spirit, our capacity to endure and overcome even the most challenging circumstances.
Her story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, and that seeking help, trusting others can be the first step towards healing and reclaiming our lives.
It challenges us to consider the limits of our own knowledge, to acknowledge that there might be more to the universe than we currently understand.
As we conclude our exploration of this extraordinary account, we want to leave you with one final thought. What do you believe? Do you believe in the power of unseen forces, in the possibility of curses and magic?
We're not asking you to accept or reject this woman's story as fact. Rather, use it as a starting point for your own reflection, to consider the boundaries of your own beliefs and embrace the mysteries that still lie at the edges of our understanding.
Thank you for joining us on Terror and Urban Myths. Remember to subscribe to our channel and give this episode a like if you enjoyed it. Stay curious. Keep exploring the boundaries between the known and the unknown.